Skawo. Oh yeah, Mario time. Skawo. number one! Woohoo! Yeah! Let's go! Oh, yeah! What? Yeah! What? What? Let's go! Oh yeah, Mario time. Ha! Let's go.